Welcome, darlings. It's story time with Metaton. Oh, how I adore frantic little brave children like yourselves. On to the story, shall we? This one's called The Room Without a Number. I hope you enjoy it as much as I have. A businessman went to a hotel and walked up to the front desk to check in. The woman at the desk gave him his key and told him that on the way to his room there would be a door with no number on it that was locked and no one was allowed in there. She also said that no one should look into the room either under any circumstances. He thought this was a really odd thing to say, but he followed the instructions, went straight to his room, and then went to bed. The next night, while he was bored in his hotel room, his curiosity got the best of him. The room with no number. He just had to check it out. He walked down the hall to the door, and just like the woman had said, there was no number on the door. He tried the handle, but of course it was locked. He bent down and looked through the wide keyhole to try and see if he could make out anything inside the room. Cold air passed through the hole, chilling his eye. What he saw was an ordinary hotel room, just like his. But in the corner was a woman whose skin was completely white, much whiter than normal. She was facing away from the door, leaning her head against the wall, rocking back and forth, tapping her head softly off the hard surface. He stared in confusion for a while as the girl kept hitting her head on the wall. He wanted to knock to see if she was okay, and he almost did, but decided against it at the last second. This decision saved his life. He crept away from the door and walked back to his room, his head swimming with thoughts about the girl. He tried not to think about it and went to sleep. The next day, he returned to the door and looked through the wide keyhole once more. This time, all he saw was a dark redness and nothing else. He couldn't make out anything else except this dark red color, unmoving. Perhaps the inhabitants of the room knew he was spying the night before and had blocked the keyhole with something. At this point, he decided to consult the woman at the front desk for more information. She sighed and said, "Did you look through the keyhole?" The man told her that he had, and she said, "Well, I might as well tell you the story. A long time ago, a man and his wife stayed in that very room. Often people reported shouting and other noises coming from their room, and they were constantly arguing One night, the shouting stopped, and out of concern, the manager checked the room. They found the wife dead on the floor, and the husband was nowhere to be found. No one saw him leave the hotel, and they still don't know where he is. The wife's body was strange though. It was as normally white all over, except for her eyes, which were red. The businessman duty to check out of the hotel a few days later, but never did so. No one saw him leave the hotel, and calling his room was met with no answer. Staff went into his room, but found nothing. The man was gone, but all his belongings were still in that room. There was one thing. A note on the table was written in ink. It said, "She's coming."